In the Winton Woods City School District, the students and teachers for grades 7 through 12 have moved into their brand new building. We talked to some teachers from the district to see what their very first week in this new facility was like for them.
I'm Josh Amstutz. I am a math teacher here at the high school, teach Algebra 1, pre-calculus, and our college level pre-calculus course.
I'm Lavinia Bernacki. I teach 7th grade English Language Arts in an integrated ELA and social studies classroom.
I'm Brady Semino-Wazlewski, and I teach physics.
So teaching in the old school with PBL was a train wreck because we did not have the room to space out. PBL is very about the students collaborating and the teachers serving as more of a tour guide for their education. However, I felt in the space that I had prior that I could not really facilitate for my students to do their own learning in the classroom. However, in the new building, I have tables that I can line in rows for direct instruction, and then I have a whole half of the room where I can pull students at a kidney table for small group reteaching instruction, or I have tables that I can group together for the collaborative process for the students.
So the old school, we were out in the athletic building in a classroom in isolation because I was too loud in the regular building. That's what I'm going to go with. But it was very much a traditional learning environment. We did everything we could with the tables and the movement of things to make PBL work. But this is definitely 500,000 times better. We can have whole group in the seminar rooms, on the learning stairs, in different environments to make that work out. We can do individual groups, collaborative work in the collaboration space. We can do building and designing of science experiments or testing things in the lab space. And then we can turn around and tie it all together and do all kinds of different things in different spaces at the same time, which is what makes this really unique and a really cool experience for our students doing project-based learning.
I'd say for me, I was also in isolation in the same building as Coach C over there. And so for me, I want to really focus on the teaching aspect of things. Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility, as you said, but specifically, I am around a lot of people now. So when we were in isolation, we didn't get a chance to see a lot of teachers. Now we are all in our pods in one collaborative space. So I've gotten to know the people in my pod more in the last week than I have the entire year. And as a result of that, like literally just today, we came up with a new project idea that we were able to hash out because we literally have everyone right there. We can talk about it. We don't have to go a mile to go to the restroom or to the printer or to the office. You know, everything is centrally located. And in order for us to better serve our students, that's what needs to happen.
Not only is the lunch spot different, where you know it's not loud, they're not screaming over each other. It's a very college-like experience when you're walking through the hallway. The kids are still being kids, but they're excited to be here. They're in a good space. They're excited that they can have different experiences. And then also in our pod area, we're in the collaboration space right now, which is the middle area. And I mean, I thought it was going to be super distracting. I thought people were going to be walking by all the time, but because of how the structure of the building is set up, there's not a lot of traffic flow through there. And when there is, the kids don't even pay attention to it. It's like we're in our own classroom, but there's all these open spaces and windows around us, and it just brings a happy kind of mood to the room, which we never had before. So I mean, I think it's really cool.
And I think that the key is the kids have options. I mean, there's literally an option for everything. There's an option for a type of table. There's an option for where in the room you sit. There's an option for which screen you want to use because we co-teach and have a combined classroom. There's an option for which outlet to use. Do you want to use the one hanging above you or the one in the wall? There's literally options for everything, and the kids literally couldn't be happier because they feel trusted. They feel like finally, instead of this old school version of the teacher just directing everything. Even though that's not what we tried to do in the old building, the new building helps to support the learning that we're giving to our students, which is being amazing human beings. How do you work and live in an environment where you have a lot of choice, and how do you handle those choices in a professional manner?
So for me, I'm personally seeing a lot more buy-in with the students for taking ownership of their own education because, as you were saying, there's so much student choice. So even something as simple as picking a table that makes you a better learner, or having an environment too that makes you a better learner. Because, for instance, in my classroom, we use the collab zones I've used them all this week, to be honest. I put a poll in my little Google Meet, and then I have the students decide, do I want to work like independently in a group or a small group? And I'm able to take the students who want to work independently and take them to the collaborative zones that are almost set up more like a library or media center to give them that college feel and to show them that I trust them as their teacher. The other thing is the students want you to trust them more because they know that there's so many other opportunities than just sitting in the traditional classroom setting. So they want you to trust them, and they're really growing, and I just see them in the last week or so. The growth is tremendous compared to the entire year.
Yeah, I couldn't have felt more connected, honestly. I mean, I can't even tell you, Steve Denny can tell you how many meetings we had, but from a teacher perspective, there were a lot of meetings where literally every single meeting input was asked for and received. It was asked for and received from a community standpoint as teachers in the community. It was asked for the staff in general of the 7 to 12 campus. It was asked for the high school staff in general. It was asked from, in my context, the math department specifically. So in every step of the way, there were, just questions that were asked so that they could best serve our needs. And the key, I think, is that I look at this space, literally they took almost every single item into consideration. And that's why teaching in the space and learning in the space is so amazing, because literally they listened to the front lines. They listened to the teachers.
On top of that, our science labs are better than they've ever been. Our chemistry teacher and I were really involved in the design of the chemistry lab specifically, but all the labs. And I've been to a lot of different campuses. I've seen a lot of different schools. There's never been one that I could walk into and see every single solitary chemistry lab station with their Bunsen burners going and be able to know everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're learning, they're having fun. And so the design that they took into account and the things that they made happen is just amazing, because we can actually do real labs right there. They get help immediately. There's nobody unsupervised. It's the safest, best experience that I've ever seen in a chemistry lab. So I think that's really cool.
So as a teacher with the planning process, myself personally, I know I was not a part of the meetings, but we have a building leadership team, and I know that they were very active with meeting and talking about the plans of the new building and the structure for the needs of the teachers as well as the students.
I think it's the best thing ever. So, I mean, each grade level has their separate space. So I've only ever been to the middle school portion once, and that was literally today. It was a wonderful experience. And then the middle schoolers obviously don't come to our section unless they accidentally come in the wrong set of doors. But even then, it's actually kind of cool to at least see them and for them to see where they're going to be in the next 4 years. So I think it's a great idea, because now we can have not only cross collaboration and projects within our own grade levels, but if we want to go over to the middle school and do a joint project with 8th grade teachers, 100%, let's do it, instead of having to get a bus to take you down a couple miles down the road. I mean, the ability to connect our kids together and to really mentor them into the amazing individuals they're going to be by the time they exit Winton Woods High School is now a possibility, simply because we are in the same space.
In addition, that changes the classes offered to the kids too, because now they can literally, if allowed, go to any class at the high school, as long as we set that up and make that happen for those kids. So those people that are either advanced or need some extra support in a subject area can get that extra support and really grow more than what was here before. Mm-hmm.
So at first, my middle schoolers were responding in a way that they were terrified that they were accidentally going to go to the high school side, because they did not want to be mixed with the high schoolers. I teach 7th graders, so they get worried about the 8th graders too. But I think then they saw Main Street, and they love Main Street, and they love that they know as long as they are on the right side of Main Street, depending on which way you come in, that they cannot get mixed in with the high schoolers. From a teacher perspective, though, based off of what they both said too, I know for myself personally with teaching language arts, there are times where I want to teach a specific story, a novel, play. I might have to send an email to someone to find out what the high school does, and it is just great to be able to walk across Main Street and collaborate with those teachers.
You made the best choice you could possibly ever make to support a new school building, because the amount of education that we're going to be able to offer our kids here far surpasses literally any district in the state of Ohio. To the point where, I'm going to be honest with you, I would consider sending my own kids here, even though they're super young. They're very young. This is the kind of experience I want my kids to have. Like whatever opportunities you could possibly think of, we now have within the space.
Our building is amazing. It is designed to be innovative. It is designed to get our students prepared for the real world. And that's really what we do as a district, is how do we get our students career ready, college ready, how do we get them ready to be adults in this real world. And this building is set up in a way that it'd be impossible for us to not get our students prepared to be able to handle situations in the real world. And really it makes their learning more meaningful to them, because being able to connect their education to the real world is exactly what they need.
I want the community to know that they made a phenomenal choice in investing in these students and their future. The students helped design this great building with their voice and their choice as part of the design process, and it shows in every aspect. They love everything about it. They want more of it. I've never seen kids so excited to be in the building. So I really want you as a community to come out and see it. Come see it in action. Come see what you invested in. Come see the excitement on the kids' faces. Come see the amount of projects and the great things that we're doing here at the school. And we're going to be growing and doing even more things at the school as we learn the building and as we get through this process. So I just challenge you as a community, come see what you invested in, because it was way, way, way worth it.
Thanks for watching the Winton Woods Warrior Supercast. As always, you can stay up to date with what's happening in the school district by going to their website, www.wintonwoods.org.